Alright, guys. It's been. You see, after I got all the to reset my whole entire game in order to get in order to get all this stuff again. So, yeah, this is gonna be a long, long ride. So, this time I'll actually do it correctly. So, I hope you liked the live stream, and let's get into it again. Here we go.
Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await.
Sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Bet he doesn't remember anything.
Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, here we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Give me the content.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
I like jumping.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say,
Let's
initial
do it.
impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and
Oh, yeah.
jumping. Is this what passes for exciting
Oh,
new
yeah.
content? If this is new content,
Oh,
then
yeah.
I guess there's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Let's do it.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this?
I don't know.
I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
No.
This is a little bit different.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Yeah. Someone just sent me a video. Oh, no. I don't want
The first day of Christmas, my girl gave to me a Big Mac and a sweet tea. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave
Why? A Big Mac? A Big Mac
You remember
and
how cheap and
sweet tea?
unsatisfying the new
Someone
Ultra
just sent me
Deluxe
a
content
video
turned out to be. But it got me thinking about
on my
and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made
on my
something
messages.
special and tucked it away here
One of
where
my
the
friends
game's
just sent me
developers won't
this.
find it. Just our little
tacos
secret.
and a Big Mac with a
I
sweet
call
tea.
it the Memory Zone.
The
It's
third
where I've
day
been
of
storing all
Christmas,
my
my true
favorite
love gave
memories
to me
so I can relive the
3
peak
chicken littles, 2 cheesy tacos with a Big Mac and a sweet tea.
Christmas is already over.
Day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 4 turkey legs,
3
3
chicken littles, 2 cheesy
tacos with
tacos.
a Big Mac and a sweet tea.
Light snack, bro.
Fifth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me.
I'm turning this off. No, I'm not watching that. I just want to
Experiences
get
of my
this. I
life
just want to get this
whenever I
done so
want.
I can do the epilogue.
Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember back in October of 2013? And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism. 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that,
Every
Stanley?
game, huh?
Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Actually, it's not an hour. It's actually like 3-4 hours, I think. Probably like 7, or no, like at least 6 hours, because you need 3 hours to complete the new content part. Counting. Wait, no. Yeah, counting the Stanley figurines, and the other 3 is for the epilogue, which I think you'll have to do it again.
Moving passage. This time
Like,
from
collect all the figurines again.
The Stanley
Plus, there's like lots of new dialogue.
Commentary on the nature of
I
choice
think.
in games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable,
Oh no, dude.
surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Did you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go mid.
What?
The TV. Did you get a cool toy?
I can't hear it because of all those toys and stuff and him being loud.
With a beloved franchise.
Dude, I literally can't hear a single word that he's saying.
Put on the subtitles.
Subtitles are off.
These were simpler times, Stanley.
Read it.
What I
I
wouldn't
don't want
give
to
to
read
go
it.
back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this
Oh
part of
yeah,
the
the
memory
big
zone
giant
before.
piano.
What's this? What's down here? Oh no, oh God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of
Steam
reviews from pressurized
reviews.
gas,
The
the
worst reviews of
extremely popular
all.
online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights.
Man, I don't want to do this all again, but I have to. Yeah.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse. From the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always... What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button. Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it could
bone doesn't open up till you
Not
get
if
the
it means we
sword,
can
huh?
strike these negative
It
reviews from
opens
the
up a
record.
secret
Only
wall.
positive reviews of the
I
Stanley
don't know.
That's
It
my
doesn't
word,
open up.
and it's always been my motto.
Oh.
I do
Daniel.
anything for the customer
Well, it
service.
said to get
Yes,
the drag.
a skip button we shall have.
Well, it said to get the item and then
And
get
here
the
it is.
sword.
Yeah.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue for...
Alright.
Oh, well, there's sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't
Hello.
you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I
I'm
start
trying
go
to
off
get
on
the
a
epilogue
faultless
because
display of
last time
self-absorption. Okay, welcome
I
back,
kind of
Stanley.
broke the
Now, I should
game
say
and
that
it
the
wouldn't
amount
let
of
me
time
get the
the button has been
epilogue.
skipping through is
That's
becoming
basically the
longer and
explanation
longer.
is
That last
why
one, well,
I'm trying to
I
get
want
the
say maybe
epilogue again.
30,
If you have
45
watched my previous streams.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer,
And
but they're...
stop.
Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back.
Only
Oh,
one
goodness,
light is on
I have someone
now.
to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting.
Bye-bye.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've...
He left. Or she, or whatever. Well...
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed.
Give him his piano.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Are you gonna get him stuff, or are you just gonna leave him there? He wants his piano, but will you hand it to him? See, he's... No, watch. You set it. Ooh, look. Set it up there. Where it's angled a little bit there, and he won't knock it straight off. Only spent like $2 on that thing. Don't lean on that, you're gonna break it, dude. It's a baby gate. Stop. I need through.
Well,
I'll take you, brother. I'll take you.
that's a little creepy. Can
You
I...
wanna go look for baby girl?
Door stuck! Door stuck! Whoa.
You know, I've been jumping back in school.
I don't want to pick it the piano up.
You don't have to keep picking this piano up.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Mimi. New content.
Good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Oh yeah.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2. Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? but the Stanley Parable 2. Now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really. Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-doop.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and... Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim. All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on?
Actually, Jim.
See, if you'd only played along, that would have been your name in the button search, but no. Instead, I can't even think.
I love the Jim button. No, my child. That's crazy.
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable 2. They would appreciate what I've created here.
What?
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well,
Random
I'm
cheers.
happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem of the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your...
I don't care, narrator. I just want to get the hell out of here.
It lends you an air of charisma as well. I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
I don't really
The
care.
benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Alright, let's go do some more stuff.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get well someday it is. Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium. You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel. Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test trophy that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the trophy. Yes. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the trophy is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the whole gamers. We hear you, and I promise it will happen. What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet? Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable. God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game, and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Sorry about that. That was my notification.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then. All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now? So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay, are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes. Yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Peacefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Stanley Parable 4.
Alright, all I have to do is just get all of these collectibles and be done with
His
it.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley felt the bucket calling to him, begging him to pick it up. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Yes, truly a room worth admiring, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley left from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Maybe Stanley would never pick up the bucket. A lonely bucket, lonely. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you... Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley things. What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see, there's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stan. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Oh, of course. A 3. Really? Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings. Does that sound good? Think we can do that? Yes? Wonderful. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look. Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice.
Yeah, I'm not doing this.
The game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Burn, 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 burn.
Heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me?
Just to spite you.
If it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot. Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your great tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley.
What?
And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
It isn't? Oh.
Oh, no. No, it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly, block it off. Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You really wandered off into that thing, that big open, just wandering around, no right or wrong directions, no path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing. Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just
Rocket
a nice big
League.
box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Oh man, a boop. I booped it.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on?
Yep.
Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball. Yes. Oh, goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls! Are you enjoying this, Stanley? Are you having fun? Is this a real video game? Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over. That's right. Your little fun comes to an end. This is my game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley. Besides, you need someone like me to set boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I'm structure. I'm your sense of purpose. And since you decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So, goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you like it when I'm not around to set the rules. Somehow, I don't think you'll enjoy it as much. But who knows? You're an inventive kid. You'll come up with something. After all, you're the one who knows best. Take care, Stanley.
Did you know, back in the day, there was a pickaxe in Fortnite that you couldn't even hear anybody's footsteps. You remember that?
No.
Oh, no?
No.
That's a grass over there.
Oh no. I guess it's just the textures.
But, there's a pickaxe in the battlefield back in the day where you couldn't even hear anybody with their footsteps. Even though the crosshair, you know the crosshair where it shows you like footsteps are? You couldn't even see that if you even had it on. If you were holding the pickaxe and you had...
Oh my god, please. No. I don't care.
Yeah, it was like a cheat thing. But I think they patched it. Or maybe they didn't. I think they still patched it.
What's this over here? this.
Oh, it's mine.
He's chilling. Yeah. I don't know what to do here. Do I just go jump off? I think that's what I'm supposed to do. I'll go jump off.
Hello, what are you doing?
Alright, I'm gonna restart. Because I kept stealing his money.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley, pick up the bucket.
What the?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I don't think there's any more on the right side. Stairs. Fireplace. Okay. Yeah, they're all on this side. The rest are on this side. Gotta go downstairs.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Right here.
I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlereens and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me. You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all.
I'm currently playing the Stanley Parable right now.
You'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then, different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
He spilled my drink. On purpose.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible.
I'm playing the Stanley Parable right now.
Let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
It's like a game that you go explore around, but the narrator breaks the fourth wall, depending on where you go and what ending you're doing. It's kind of funny.
And there it is, the last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment.
Yeah.
This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
He's just chilling, playing with his Stitch toy. He's playing with his Stitch toy.
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines, those fiddlers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one
Oh, what's
more
going
trip
on,
back to
Cody?
the memory zone?
Cody,
I would
what's
love
going
nothing
on?
more than to revisit
Hi.
the figurines.
How
Just
you
one more
doing?
time.
Edu. Yeah. What's going on, Cody? What's going on? Yeah. Hey, Cody.
Here's where it all began.
Oh, Cody, it's
First
okay.
memory. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
Cody, it's okay. Cody, it's okay. It's fine.
And here was a second Stanley. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the warehouse. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways. Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember? Hey, that's exactly right. It was here by the red and blue doors. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything. Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a figly in this pink room. Oh well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened. This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was in the boss's bathroom. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Oh, man. Down, 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 down.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else. And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here behind the boss's office. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like. And then there was no more, because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move on into the future. Goodbye, Memory Zone.
What?
No, I'm not done.
No.
I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels. Okay, yes, the back of the boss's office. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going, I want more. And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched? Yes, I love that video. Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room. These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have neutered the intrinsic joy of collecting.
I didn't really think about it because I was
resisted the temptation.
kind of too excited to use the cheat. This is the first mini stand, right?
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it, the very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this? Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then. But time does put a rosy filter on everything. Oh, yes, the two doors! Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one. And before everything else, there was your office. Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember. Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy. And I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions, he would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
How to unlock the epilogue. He's just chilling with his mirror thing.
Also, be sure to hit all of those checkboxes because it's going to open up some extra options. But you're going to need to hit all of the different options on those. Now we can work on getting 4 minutes and 50 seconds, not including loading screen time. Go to your boss's office and you had to enter the number 2845 before the narrator tells you to. You'll talk about your presentation, then they can listen to some calming music. Start writing originally, so that you'll go there and follow many times. On the Xbox, the second one's going to be over here in the way. And it works out, but you know, and you get this achievement. In the I'm going to put it backward, so it would really make it even better. So then we're going to do just that. But either way, just keep doing that. that until they don't talk to you anymore. If you already restarted the game a few times, picking up that. Alright, now the figurine stuff is over, and you'll need to restart the game by closing it out and reopening it until the settings person doesn't talk to you anymore. If you've already restarted the game a few times prior to this, then you may already be at that point, but either way, just keep doing that until they don't talk to you, and you'll have the epilogue option on your main menu. So then you'll need to click that to start